All right, welcome to the QB School Show. Fired up for this one. Lots of good stuff. Big week in the football world. Let me know that I sound good, that you can hear me. I'm a little nervous that I had to go through a little bit of a different process to make this thing happen. So if you're getting a lag or if the sound doesn't sound good, I might spend a little bit of time just at the beginning making sure this sounds good and that there isn't like a lag, because I had some issues. And I'm on like a new platform. I was going super old school using like the YouTube Classic for all you streamers out there. And now for some reason, it just wasn't available today. So all good stuff right here. This is Weekend Vibes, one of my favorites. We just keep the long weekend going. Cheers to everyone out there. If you got one.
Cheers.
Big week of sports. Got some good hoops on right now. We got some... what else we got? We got some NFL going this weekend. We got some college football going this weekend. We got all sorts of good stuff. I'm excited for this thing. I appreciate y'all hanging out, checking in. Do me a favor. Boom! Right out the gate. If you haven't already, make this thing happen. Continue to grow. I appreciate the support. So all good stuff here. I love Weekend Vibes. Weekend Vibes is one of my favorite out here in San Diego. It's been kind of the beverage of choice for the COVID summer. So all good. Now, this is pretty exciting, actually. We've got like real football coming this weekend. No offense to those football games over the weekend. And I know some people out there are getting a chance to play high school sports this fall, but we are not where I'm at. So it feels a little weird with no preseason, just jump right into the regular season. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear what y'all think I should be doing some videos on here. Getting into the first week, I've got some ideas as far as certain quarterbacks I want to make sure I kind of feature, leaning towards doing a Daniel Jones video early, because I was getting peppered with those early on. Roy, I can't promise anything about the Chicago quarterback situation. I'm not going to lie there. That actually might be a good little topic for tonight, to be honest with you. It's been kind of weird to see the preseason come and go, as far as not necessarily getting a chance to see anybody, don't get connected necessarily to the bottom of the roster, and then all of a sudden, they're already made their teams. The 53s come and go, and it's a big weekend for a lot of guys that made the squad, connected to the practice squad. So all good stuff. Brian, what's going on? Coming in strong. Appreciate the support. Love it. You know what I was actually thinking about doing, and this might upset some people in this, or I'm going to put two ideas out there. One, we do a members only chat, maybe like once a week, or not once a week, one of these weeks, as opposed to a normal live stream. Or I've heard this is a thing, and this is going to upset some people that aren't members, but I might be okay with that. Member only comment section. Now, the member thing for me is not a big deal, although I do think it is a cool little easy way to support the channel. But don't be mad if you come on one of these times and it's only a members only chat. Okay? I warned you. It's not that much. You'll be all right. Denarius, what's going on? Chase, Michael, some friendly faces in there. Definitely not going to do a car video early. Although I did see that Mariota is on IR, which is good news for him. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, wonder if it worked. We'll see. I can't look away now that it's on the thing. I think it did. Never gets old, man. I'm deep into course number 2 right now, so I've been bobbing and weaving the whole time. But it's all good. I'm having fun with this stuff. Yeah, we got some friendly faces in the house. My man Johnny creeping in on playlists. Denarius, what was the question? Sorry, I missed the thing. Really didn't see Gordon's scheme can be held against him. Who's Jordan? Why am I forgetting? Oh, Gordon, Aaron Gordon. Jamie Newman and Trevor Lawrence are just fine, not to mention Kyler. Yeah, too much going on there. I apologize. Denarius, you're funny. That is some good all 22 humor right there. That's the real truth, though. Chicago all 22 film is tough to watch and has been for years. Anthony Gordon. Dang it, that's what his name was. Oh no, my camera froze. Let's go back to the other. Boom. Am I back now? I don't think the camera should have froze. I'm going to be so... I'm pretty sure if you guys... Give me a... Can we hear me? I'm disappointed here with the... I think I did the... Yeah. I should have changed something before we started, so I apologize if this thing turns off. Very frustrating. I'll fix it for the next time, hopefully. Thinking about hopping on. The game is Thursday night, correct? Thinking about hopping on post-game Thursday. Thinking about it. Yeah. I apologize again for the technical difficulties. Very frustrating switching over from something to something else and not getting everything changed. But we'll sort it out. Thursday, have no idea who plays on Thursday. Let me know. I'm going to guess that it's the Chiefs, but probably isn't now that I said that. Ooh, members only post game would be nice. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. We actually have AAU practice Thursday evening, so I'll probably miss part of the game, so it might be a little late after the game. But I would like to see it. Chiefs, Texans, there you go. Ooh, I like it. Deshaun. I'm a big Deshaun Watson fan. I'm not a huge Bill O'Brien fan. In fact, not a Bill O'Brien fan. But I'm a big fan of Deshaun Watson. Hopefully they have enough around him to give him a fighter's chance there. But that'll be a fun one. That's a good one to start. It's going to be weird. I could only imagine being an NFL player and having to play the first game, prime time, Thursday, whatever. No matter if it's prime time or first Sunday, whatever. First game, no preseason games, probably not much, if any, live in practice, to all of a sudden go full speed NFL speed. And for me, and this is just my take, I never heard like any sort of empirical evidence with this, but this idea being, for me, I always thought the week one was the fastest week of football I ever saw in person, except for the playoffs. And I don't know if that was true or if that was just the energy or the vibe or everything all combined. But for me, whether I was playing or just on the sideline in the stadium, week one to me felt like the collisions were fireworks. And I just remember maybe the sound, maybe it was because it hadn't happened in a while. Maybe it was because everybody is healthy-ish. But man, the week one collisions, the week one explosions, the violence at the line of scrimmage, I felt like it was different than anything. And maybe even a little bit more than the playoffs, because I felt like the playoffs usually were a little colder, just was a little bit damp, a little bit, softer of the absolute sound of violence at the line of scrimmage. And I just, I can't imagine going straight to that without having any sort of like real preseason live. Not that preseason is anything similar to the regular season, but there is some element of going full speed, running as hard as you can, those types of things that you just hard to replicate in any type of practice type scenario where you're so concerned with safety and distance and all those things. So it'll be fascinating to see. I think the college games have been high-ish quality. I think that some of the matchups have been unfortunate just because of the rescheduling, but the quality of football has been, watchable on TV for the little bit that I've watched. Brian, what's going on? See what you got right out the gate. Sorry if you already saw this, but do you expect the lack of offseason preseason to help offenses? In 2011, in a lockout shortened season, we saw, I think, 4 or 5 5,000-yard passers. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me. I don't really have any sort of, I think intuitively, you would think that the defense would probably have an advantage, although, nowadays the game is so, I feel like, offensive friendly to a certain extent, quarterback friendly, that it's hard to make any argument against that, but I honestly don't know. Chase, what are the differences between a cadence and a snap count? Nothing. Excellent question. I love those types of questions. Rice and beans, grains and greens. What do you think of players now representing themselves with contracts? I think that is very bad representation. Horrific. Dan Morgan, what do you think will be the main consequences of missing the preseason? I am dreading sloppy play, penalties, injuries being up. Thanks, JT. Dan, I think this is an interesting question, for a few different reasons. I'm not sure that play will be sloppy. I think that the guys who play at an elite level will still play at an elite level. Many of them usually don't play a whole lot of preseason snaps regardless. I think where it's really going to hurt teams, and they're really going to roll the dice, I guess, a little bit, is that like bottom 10 people on a roster. Because inevitably in preseason, I feel like those 10 spots sort themselves out. Someone splashes in the preseason, someone splashes in week 2, and then they get more time in week 3. And then they're the starter in week 4 and they go crazy. And now all of a sudden they're on the team, where those reps don't happen in practice, straight up. Like, there is no opportunity to shine on special teams in practice. It doesn't exist. And so what the bottom of the roster looks like, for me, might be a little bit more personnel department-ish as opposed to one spots. Very often I think of those spots at the bottom of the roster, whether it's 8, 10, 3, whatever the depth situation is, those spots are earned. And now I'm thinking, is it someone they project? Is it someone they think can help in week 10? Is it someone, that provides a little bit more veteran depth? What does it look like? How are teams strategically going about the bottom of the roster? I think might play a role as far as how teams evolve over the course of the season. But who the hell knows? I honestly, it's going to be fascinating on so many levels as far as what happens when a team gets a certain number of positives. What does the depth look like at certain positions? All those types of things, I think, are going to be fascinating. I really just empathize with the people who are on the bottom of the roster, because you just don't. There's no opportunity. There's no chance that I could see most teams just projecting what the kind of long-term impact of a player is, as opposed to like earning that spot. I felt like was always the badge of honor for those, someone who was always on the lower tier of the roster, always trying to earn my spot in the preseason. So wild. Brian, can you possibly make a video on Cam Newton and how his skill set, especially as a passer, might fit in the Patriots offense? I feel like I did that to a certain extent maybe earlier in the offseason, when I thought he was going to be a Patriots, and many people on this chat probably made fun of me for saying those things. But I stand by those, and I still think Cam's revenge tour is going to be pretty awesome in New England. Brandon, what are you trying to say here? When you were in the league, did you like to work out with anyone not on your team in the offseason? If so, who? I worked out with anybody who I could throw with. I did not discriminate. It's difficult when you're in your late 20s to find any sort of person that is available in the middle of the day to throw with, other than people who are on other teams. So yeah, that's just part of the deal. Christian Smith, one day, do you want to become a college or maybe an NFL coach? No, thank you, Christian Smith. Denarius, I also don't understand the notion that air raid concepts and philosophies can't work with almost every NFL team is out here running spacing. Wouldn't run that on a JV team. I'm glad my hate of spacing is spreading. Look, I'm not air raid certified. I'm not an air raid guru. I don't pretend to be. We run some air raid concepts, but I probably don't even tell our players that they're technically air raid concepts. For me, the reason that I think the air raid has and probably will continue to struggle a little bit in its pure form is just because so much of it is green grass dominant. And what I mean by that is there's so much, run to the green grass, feel the space, get in behind the defender, noose it up, or whatever they call it. And you can't do that in the league. Everybody is fast. Everything is covered. Everything is tight. Everything is squeezed. Everything is condensed and feels covered. There's not like grass. You don't get to run to grass very often. It just doesn't happen. And I, maybe I'm just not smart enough to be able to visualize it and or coach it and see it at that level. But to me, that's why I think you can't do it. Like, I don't see, it's not a offense to me that is tethered to precision timing and anticipation. It's a lot more of make sure we're on the same page, feel the grass, find the space. Those are the types of things you hear in that world. At least that's what I hear as an outsider. Now, certain concepts that we run that are air raidy, we talk like that to a certain extent. And I think that if you have the time to be able to do those things, they're great. It's just difficult to do that all the time, and we're not even talking about at the line of scrimmage. We're talking about just the offensive perimeter. If we're talking about at the line of scrimmage, taking straight vertical sets is going to be potentially pretty dangerous in the NFL with some of the pass rushes that are going on. So that's why I think the air raid has and probably will continue in its pure form to struggle. Now, I think certain concepts have filtered in, absolutely, and you see what Arizona is doing as far as evolving and tinkering in real time with core air raidy things and then things that work in the league. And so there's just a difference. Denarius, the spacing thing for me, all that is just old coaches doing what they know how to do. It's not that spacing is good. It works if you're catching zone, but that's like any profession, right? Like, that's the way it's always been done. Who hears that in their job? That's what we've always done. This is how we've always run this. This is what this is. Most people, outside the league probably don't even run quick game. Your quick game is just RPOs. And so, that's not necessarily the way it's done in the league. And so that's just as the sectors and levels of football continue to emerge and kind of influence up and influence down, I think you'll see those things kind of evolve out of the game. Oh man, Josh Rosen. Dylan, hit me with a sensitive spot. I'm a fan of Josh Rosen.
Nope.
I know. Sorry. Here's my thing on Josh Rosen. Again, I haven't spent a whole lot of time deep thinking about this, but I have said, and I will continue to say in this channel, in any form, that so much of sports is luck. And what I mean by that is genetic lottery, luck as far as your situation, luck as far as your coaching, luck as far as so many different things, your health, that it's magnified the higher you get. And so if you get drafted somewhere that kind of historically has sucked, for lack of a better descriptor, and then you get traded to another place that has kind of historically been on the down, and you're always kind of on these bottom tier teams, bottom tier organizations, for a 6th round draft pick, you're just clawing to stay in the league. For a 1st round draft pick, now you're a bust. You suck. You're terrible. Well, you're the same player that got drafted, or theoretically, you're the same player that got drafted whenever he got drafted, 10th overall. I don't know if that's true or not, but sounds right. So to me, yes, I'm sure there have been some performance things, and I don't want to sound like a Josh Rosen apologist because I don't really care. But I will say that I will go to my grave thinking that there is a lot of luck to whether someone gets a decade in the league or an opportunity in camp, whether someone gets a year in the league or whether someone gets hurt in college or high school. And so, yeah, you can train, you can prepare, you can do all the right things, but there's still a lot of uncertainty. And it doesn't change when you're in the league. And I know that's hard for people to wrap their head around when you're not in it. And even when you are in it, I think it's hard to wrap your head around, but that's just the truth. So I feel bad for Josh Rosen. I hope he lands on his feet. I hope he gets another opportunity. So much of it is luck, though. An opportunity on a good team, in a good organization, with a great coach. It's a lot. So, that is what it is. But that's just not a Josh Rosen program. That's a league. That's a sports thing. That's any sport, any pro sports, any sport level thing for me, that luck plays an important factor with it. And the faster you come to peace with it, the better off you'll be. Dan, ba-boom. Why is that so loud on my computer?
Bruh.
What up, Peter? Hey, oh, Tozy, baby. I don't know. Whoever sent me that on Twitter, the Tozy thing, that made me chuckle. I'm glad that's spreading. I've only ever heard that from one coach, actually two coaches. Were all about the Tozy thing when I was in the league, and so I'm glad it's spreading. I think intuitively it makes a lot of sense to me. I still have quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, that kind of look at me sideways, like, what the hell are you saying when I say that? But I really do believe it. And if you look at a lot of quarterbacks that play at a high level, I think consistently they are not on their toes. But that's just me. Oh, man. I think I did Hamilton Plunkett. I did a Sam Howell. All you guys are, do one on his first game. Bro, that's not how all 22 film works. I appreciate it. That's a great idea. And if people have all 22 film of college games that have already worked, have already been played this year, please send them to me and I will use them on this channel and I will cite you as a source. So, but that's not how it works, at least for me. Did Anthony Gordon make a team? I don't even know. I know there's a lot of Anthony Gordon love on this channel and I enjoyed watching his film last year, but I don't know. I'm not in it like I was back in the day where I could tell you every single quarterback on every single team. So he did make the Seattle team. That's great. Is he the backup in Seattle? Wow. Reptile, what up? Man,
Cheers.
It's getting close to the season here. Got some of my favorite peeps in here. Nobody wants it, Johnny. Nobody.
Nope. Bruh.
See if I can get this to work again. All right. No, I do not have a fantasy team. Oh, Peter. Oh man, that bro thing better go off. I hope it went off. Man, the Navy and Coach O in the house. No, the Service Academy offense thing for me. Man, I think I totally jacked this thing. My frozen camera is really frustrating me. I apologize. The Service Academy thing for me has forever frustrated me. I don't pretend to have an answer for it. I do know that everything that you hear out of the Service Academies is just how difficult it is to recruit any offensive lineman that can do anything other than do the triple option, and how hard it is to get speed on the perimeter. And I get that. I mean, anybody who coaches gets that. But at the same time, we're not running the triple option. Everybody's not running the triple option. So I would love to see a Service Academy evolve to something else. I think it is a little bit tied to their identity, like any offense. I know Coach O out there would think that the offense is really is a major influence on the identity and kind of personality of the team. And if you're triple option, you're saying something. I think it's a little bit easier at that level, as opposed to California where you can chop people, cut them down, those types of things. But I would love to see a Service Academy try to do something else. My father-in-law went to the Naval Academy. We watch a lot of Navy games. I'm a fan. There's a lot of people actually in San Diego. I feel like San Diego students, there's a lot of them that end up going to the Service Academies to play sports. And, it's just, for me, it's not my type of ball. I just don't love watching it. I don't know. But at the same time, obviously, they're great to watch. I love those uniforms. Queen T, baby. See, they're all over the place. I got to figure out what's wrong with my camera B. Camera 1, camera 2. It's almost White Russian season, y'all. Can anybody in this chat tell us when White Russian season starts and finishes? Coach O, you are not allowed to. You don't know, though. Worried about those 4-2 eyes. We got a lot of wing T people in here. All right. See, the problem with this chat is every time I go off and have like a conversation with the camera, I'll come back and I'll have no idea what's going on. Jordan, close. Close. Brian, pretty close. Getting, you know, not, you don't hit one right either. It has very specific dates. I'll give you a clue. Very specific dates. Oh, Denarius. That's a wonderful idea to include in a course, which will probably be released at the start of next month. All my favorite concepts, actually. Many of my favorite concepts. Do you think Mac Jones will keep his spot at Alabama, or will Bryce Young be the #1 QB? I have no idea. I tried to do a video on Mac Jones, and I couldn't find all 22. It was frustrating. All I could find was 2 Alabama. Apologize. Wow, really? Bryce is way better? I've heard good things about Mac Jones. I don't know. Bro, I couldn't tell you. If they were standing in front of me, I couldn't tell you the difference between each of them. Every personnel is my favorite to go empty. You know that. Griff? Come on, Griff. Coach Dre, what up? Oh, man. I can't wait to unleash this course. I'm so excited about this course. You all don't even know. It's like my own personal relationship that I have in this room with the camera. And then all of a sudden, I unleash it into the world. And, you know, a handful of you will get an opportunity to see if it's any good. Empty everything, baby. You guys didn't get cheers. Dre, what up? You didn't get the White Russian. Actually, I'm going to do White Russians in here once we get to White Russian season. White Russian season, very specific, starts Thanksgiving, ends Easter. That's the deal. Very important. There you go. Denarius, appreciate it. I was really excited about the RPO course. I thought it was cool. I had fun making it. I thought there were elements that I thought that could help just about everybody, because we run a lot of RPOs, and even the elements that I kind of discovered in the process are going to help us. But this coverage course, I'm telling you, I'm so proud of the I just finished doing the brackets element over the weekend, and brackets to me has always been like the beast of the coverage. And you don't see it a whole lot at the high school level. You see it, you know, sometimes you see it if you go up against high quality teams, maybe in 7-on-7 or 3rd and long or those types of things. But the bracket world in the league, in the SEC, it's a real deal. It's all the time. And it can feel overwhelming. It feels like NFL defense because everything is tight, squeezed. Everything is condensed. Nothing is easy. And I had a blast doing the bracket section. I'm telling you, if I could make the bracket section its own course and just make it for free, I might after like 18 months or something, because I had so much damn fun making this thing. It's gonna be cool. Eagles bubble slant RPO. Oh, that's my man. No. Chase, I got nothing for you other than the videos that I will be peppering this channel with for the next month. I will continue to kind of prep y'all as we continue to go. I have zero thoughts on JT Daniels. Fife Toto. I couldn't even tell you what school he goes to. I feel like he's gone to a handful of different schools. Man, so pissed about Camera B. Cheers. Buffalo concept. That's funny that came up. Oh, the man, the myth. Everyone, introduce yourself to the Wandering DP as you see him in the chat today. That is the brother O'Sullivan. Proud co-founder of the QB school. Very special appearance. We're in Australia time. Now, if you guys have real questions, what we really need is to zoom in the Wandering DP. That would be kind of the ultimate first guess. In fact, I'll put it out there right now that once we get that, we need to kick it off with the Wandering DP, and then we might kick it off with guests every once in a while. Yeah, there's some characters in here, Wandering DP. You got to watch yourself. Don't pretend like you're drinking either over there, buddy. It's
Cheers.
Like 8 a.m. If you don't follow the Wandering DP, he's a pretty talented cat. I'm not sure what would I say is the easiest way to get a hold of the Wandering DP. Probably the Wandering DP podcast or Patreon. Let's go Patreon. There you go. At least that's for me. All right. I'm running low here. We need to hit me with a few more questions so I can crank out some videos out of this live stream. Actually, I already have a couple videos for this week already lined up. Keep repeating yourself, homie. When identifying an NFL team's offensive philosophy, are there simple ways to describe it? Or is everything just a hodgepodge of now, West Coast, Air Coryell, Air Raid, etc.? I think most teams still fall under a kind of a bucket of plays. I think it has gotten a little bit blurry with the RPO stuff and kind of the common air raidy stuff. But I'll be honest. I think most teams run the same damn stuff. I think that they might say that they're a little bit different, but in a digit world, in a West Coasty world, in an air raidy world, you're going to find the same concepts. And so they might use different terminology, but it is essentially all the same. If you got a guy, if you know someone who's played on multiple teams, they could probably play on any team. It's just that simple as far as once you memorize a few different kind of, random terms, you can go out there and play. There's only so much stuff you can do with 11 people. There really is. You're welcome, Jonah. Brendan, come on, man. That is who saw that? That's an excellent question for the next course where we talk about red zone defense. No. Why corner? Come on, bro. Chase, what are your thoughts on mirrored concepts? They seem to get a lot of hate. Chase, fair enough. I think the thing that immediately about a mirrored concept, and depending on who you talk to, even guys like Tom Brady don't do a whole lot of full field reads, or at least didn't in New England. But if you do a mirrored concept, you're basically saying immediately that the quarterback is not going to do a full field read. So for me, if I'm a defensive coordinator and I know a team majors in mirrored concepts, if a quarterback comes out and is looking to one side, that means he's not going to the other. So if you play zone coverage, you can significantly flood the field. You can move everybody over because you're never going to work all the way back across. And now, how often do you work all the way back across? Depends on the level, depends on the quarterback, depends on the offense, whatever, etc. But that's, to me, what mirrored concepts kind of immediately fall under the negative category. Now, do we still do mirror concepts? Yes, absolutely. Sometimes it's not that difficult. Just go pick the matchup and win, and don't overcomplicate it. But at the same time, if you're in a tight situation and you want to maximize efficiency of the field and the horizontal vertical stretch, then maybe it's a little bit better to have a full field read or a full field potential. And so that's, to me, why mirrored concepts kind of fall into the 1980s vibe of passing games. But they're still used at many different levels and many really successful offenses. But that, to me, is the major kind of downfall. But boom. Peter, what do you got? What do you like or dislike about rub routes? I like them when they get rubs. Absolutely. Man coverage, they're great. Free, easy moving picks. Why do you like to run pick and roll in basketball? It's because you're trying to create the matchup you want and create a little bit of space. Is the easiest way to do it. Well, for other people, I would tell them what type of rub routes I really like, but for you, I'm not going to. Brian. Haas White Juke, one of my favorites. Michael, excellent. Good to see you in here too, if I haven't said hello yet. What is White Russian season? Chris, ask around. Brian Silva, How do you approach overloading one side of the field in terms of running plays to the boundary versus the field? Are there any particular rules to follow? Not really. I think that it depends on what level you're at. So the hashes change depending on the level. But to me, intuitively, it makes more sense to go towards the wide side most often because there's more space. But at the same time, if all things are equal, let's go to the short side because it's shorter in the passing game. If that makes sense. Like, I'm not trying to be a clown about it, but I feel like sometimes you can just it is that simple. It's not like overly complicated. Now, if you're in the CFL and you throw into the field, it's like throwing across a parking lot, over like 4 RVs to get it all the way to the outside, as opposed to, if you're in the NFL with tight hashes, 6-1, half dozen to the other. It doesn't matter. Both sides of the field, both sides of the boundary. It doesn't matter. I've been on certain teams that were super right-hand dominant, so every formation was right, basically. The tight end never left the right. And so you can get away with that when the hashes are only 6 yards apart. In high school, college, it's a little bit more hash dominant in my mind. Hope that makes sense. The boundary, baby. It's great when you got somebody over there who can do it. All right, 5:45 my time. Who knows what time it is wherever you are, probably quarter to the hour. I'm going to watch some Lakers. Not sure what you all are going to do the rest of the evening, but I appreciate you all hanging out. I'm thinking if you want, maybe I'll try a members. That's a good idea. Okay, here it is. Okay, I'm making the announcement. Members only chat. Members only. Let's go. Yeah, members only chat. Post Thursday night. Now, you got to forgive me. I will probably be coming in hot. Might not be right after the game because I'll be coming in from practice, but we will come in here live up and talk about the game. And it'd be just fun to talk some NFL ball in real time. So thank you very much for hanging out. I appreciate y'all. If you have ideas for good videos to ramp up the week, do me a favor. Come at me in the comments, in the videos of the stream, on Twitter, whatever. Most people know how to get a hold of me. I appreciate the support. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to ramp up these lives now that we're into the football season. I am fired up. This is fun times for the channel. We're ready to go, locked in, ready to rock. So thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.